Next match, we're going back to yeah, let's do group A and B again. The winner of group B against second place from group A. Right? Am I saying that right? Yes, I am. Winner from group B, second place from group A, and those together will decide who Matt's opponent is in the semi-final. Which actually means, hey Pocket, your match is next. Ooh, yeah, the first match, the first quarterfinal we had was absolutely close. Second one was a bit less close, but it wasn't super overpowering by either of them. First one was super close the entire way through, so I hope this your match works really well too. Now for this match we're going to go to Gateway Coliseum. Actually my timer is ready to go. We want the Metronome top cut rules. Yes. Absolutely a double battle. The winner of the different groups was the first one selected, so Kimono, the one that won my group. This almost would have been Rens, my brother, if it wasn't for Rens' Absol missing a Thrash and Roar of Time in a row in Rens' match against Kimono. But that's what Metronome's about. Auke also only just beating Van Grants earlier, and Rens only just using to Kimono back in round 2, I believe that was. Now the second player from group A is Auke's GF, who is the creator of that battle pass, is in the chat right now. First I want to look something up about Kimono. About their team for the announcement. Yeah, Acrotic said I should have seen that coming. What did I put as Auke's GF's team? Just Electrode, yes. Ha! Media Cave. Interesting. Okay, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this third match in the quarterfinals. I can do 3. This is totally enough 3. Third match in the quarterfinals of the Pokemon Battle Revolution Metronome Tournament. Introducing first, hailing from Ekrutik City in the Johto region, it is Kimono and their opponent, second place trainer from Group A, hailing from the Ruin Maniac Cave, it's Auke's GF. Let's get battling. What kind of battle will these two give us? Kimono, Auke's GF. Also, because Kimono and Auke's GF both made it through together with Auke, that means 3 out of the 8 characters in the top cut are female, 5 are male. And I think it was 9-7 in advantage of male. There are more male characters. How is Auke's GF lately anyway? Ask that to yourself. You're Auke's GF.
A big hit already.
Good starting hit from Electrode. Draco Meteor, pretty good damage to Jolteon. Jolteon for the first time not going first. Discharge, that's not good. Resisted by Electrode, this is going to be super effective against Vaporeon. With Stab, that's big damage. Paralyzed the Mesprit though, that's nice. Well, it's kind of hard to take you somewhere during this lockdown, isn't it? At least the partner of the discharge user wasn't paralyzed this time, because that's happened at least twice before this tournament. Buy me more jewelry! No. 3D print your own jewelry.
A heated battle is on.
I can dream, Harold! People in the YouTube video are going to be so confused as to what's going on. This is just Pocket, who created the Auke's GF character, having some fun. What a bad BF you have.
Hit.
Yeah, the thing is, the character is Auke's GF. Like,
A smashing blow.
just to be clear for anyone in the chat that might not realize that Pocket is not my GF. First of all, he isn't female. He's a very good friend of mine, that's for sure, but he's not my GF.
Such amazing power.
You see, you're now saying you're totally on. Okay, fine. Mimo, good to hit it from attack order on Toothbrush, the Mesprit, so that's a very low health now. Also, it's paralyzed from the discharge of Jolteon earlier.
Rose.
Auke's in denial.
The air in the Colosseum is tense.
Agumon with Reflect. Good move. Let's see if a lot of physical moves will come in. For that to even be important. Let's not go there. Okay.
Energy ball hits. It went
I
down.
prefer not to mention that in the chat. Or somewhere even close to it. Even if it is a joke.
It hits.
And there is the paralysis after all. I'm static this time. Toothbrush the Mesprit is down though, so that's a 6-5 lead to Kimono.
Agron is sent out. The Colosseum is burning with excitement.
I'd say in terms of base stat totals, I haven't checked them, but they're pretty equal on these two teams. So it'll be. I think this one was pretty hard for me to decide during the prediction phase of this tournament, of this top cut, which one would win. I wonder if Auke will propose if I win this tournament. You keep wondering that.
The move.
And the thing is, this character is a self-proclaimed Auke's GF. I've never actually said that it's true. Ooh, miss from Stone Edge. It would have been a strong stat move.
Both corners still have a
And if
chance
that was
to win
aimed
this.
at
What kind of developments can we
Jolteon, that would have been the
expect to
KO.
see next?
I know you're trying to keep your options open.
Big hit.
Never.
Taken down by an
Thunder
intense
Fang
blow.
stat move from Electrode. Now Electrode might be much better, especially than physical attacks, but stab electric move takes out the Vaporeon.
The
With a
sun
5-5
suddenly intensifies.
score, Jolteon sets up the sun. Auke's a player. Okay, let's stop with this. This is getting annoying at this point. Don't hit the player, hit the game. Damn you, PBR. Right, here comes Boosty the Flareon.
Flareon is sent out. In terms of the number of remaining Pokemon,
See if Flareon can make use of that sun from an extra fire boost.
who will become the
Stab as
victor?
well because it's fire type itself. Any fire move from Boosty would be great. Electrode first though, Cotton Spore. Lowering the speed of that Jolteon.
Speed
It
fell.
was already not going first because Electro was faster. And interestingly, if Electro would have attacked Jolteon with the electric move, pretty sure Jolteon is Volt Absorb. So Jolteon would have actually healed from that Thunder Fang, but instead Electro
Nicely done.
took out the
Electrode
Vaporeon.
faces a great deal
Meanwhile,
of pressure.
Jolteon using a physical move, but it's a critical hit, so effectively it's super effective. In this generation, that's the same. In terms of damage increase.
Clean hit.
Double critical hit, wow. Deals big damage even though Jolteon doesn't normally use physical moves. Going with Water Spouts.
It hit two Pokemon at once.
Not at the highest HP anymore, I believe. Also, it's weakened by... Actually, it's pretty high HP, but Aggron's special attack isn't great.
Wonder how this is going to
Spread
affect the
damage
battle.
lowers it to 75%, and then weakened by Sun as well to half damage. It is super effective on Flareon, but still not much. I'm guessing Jolteon will be slower than Flareon, at least possibly even Aggron. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's half speed, so it might still be faster than Aggron. Kimono doing well, but I want Jeff to win. But you can't just use the base stats to calculate it. Let's say 130 versus 65 won't be equal after Cotton Spore in the 130, because it halves the stat. It doesn't halve the base stat. There's a bit more calculation in there. Still moving before Aggron. Might be a speed type, but let's assume before Aggron. Here goes Bullet Seed. Aggron has very high physical defense and only 2 hits, so that's very little damage. Electrode's, I think its eyes pop out during its animation. Let's see, Kimono doing well, but I want GF to win. Let's see if that happens. And there comes a Leaf Storm Jolteon down. So from 5-5 to 4-4, both fast electric types are out. All 4 opening Pokemon are out. Reflect is gone. So that critical hit from Jolteon's Shadow Claw 2 turns ago ended up being very important, because that not only dealt double damage, it also ignored the Reflect. So in essence, 4 times more damage than it would have dealt without the critical hit. Right, Flareon and Umbreon now against Skuntank and Aggron. If you have to see a real fire move, did we have Ember in the past few turns? I don't remember. I think there was an Ember at some point. But a real big one like Blast Burn, Flamethrower, Flare Blitz. That would be awesome, especially from Flareon. Bit of a gust shaking with its tail from Skuntank. Probably not very good smelling air. Flame Wheel, there's a fire move. Used by something that isn't very offensive against something that's very defensive, but it's boosted by Sun. And it's some damage. Any bit of damage is nice. Although big damage is always better. Psycho Shift doesn't work because Flareon doesn't have a status element. Slam. Boom. Just curious, did you put any EVs or equal IVs on these Pokemon? Yes. All Pokemon throughout the entire tournament have 31 IVs on every stat, so perfect IVs on every stat. 0 EVs on every stat, and everyone has a neutral nature. Pretty sure that's all the same nature as all, but either way, it's all neutral. So that way, in terms of EVs, IVs, and nature, everything's the same. All Pokemon.
The move failed.
Last Resort, yeah, that doesn't work when it's called a Metronome. Or maybe it just doesn't work as Metronome's the only move in the move slots. And Last Resort doesn't work if it's the only move. There needs to be at least one other. Surprising, actually. When I did my Metronome stuff ages ago, I had 252 attack and special attack in order to speed things up. I can see why. I can see why you might want to do that. Even add a Life Orb. I definitely don't want to add Life Orb. But I also don't want Leftovers. Life Orb makes it too quick. I have the stats as I just explained, and everything holds a Lepe Berry. So that in case they run out of power points, which isn't likely, they can bring it back. So I just want to see a lot of randomness, a lot of Metronomes. Although we have had cases where embargo was used, meaning you can't activate your item by the time someone was almost running out of power points, which meant they had to struggle for 2 turns. Or Imprison. Imprison is easily the best move, especially if it's used by a Pokemon at high HP, because it forces both opponents to struggle. If something new comes in on their side, they have to struggle, and it's permanent until the Pokemon that used it faints. Fling definitely happens well. Fling on the final power point of Metronome, meaning they couldn't activate the Leopard Berry at the end of that attack, and then they had to struggle. That and Imprison and a Lunar Dance and more happened in the second match of this tournament. Wait, Skuntank used Odor Sleuth. How can it smell anything over its own stink? Well, to use a personal example, when I am somewhat sweaty, for example, after I've been cycling for a while, I may feel that I'm a bit sweaty, but I may not really smell it because I'm used to my own smell. But then, my mom would meet me, let's say in the hallway, and she's like, "Oh, you smell. You should take a shower. You should clean yourself. Whatever." She noted. Everyone else notices more than you because you're used to your own smell. So maybe that's similar to Skuntank. It's used to its own smell, therefore it can smell other things still pretty well. And meanwhile, with that turn, with Umbreon down, or was Flareon down? No, Flareon down. It's a lead for Kimono and a zap Canada Nightmare. Never mind, there goes that lead. It's a tie again at 3-3. So never been more than one Pokemon difference. In the end, in Damien versus Matt, it was a 1 Pokemon difference. It became 2 close to the end, and then it became 3 when the Tyranitar was KO'd. So it's 3-0 win in the end for Matt. Here, so far, it's now a 3-3 score, and there hasn't been more than a 1 Pokemon difference.
Multiple hits. It keeps dealing damage.
I'm just waiting for an explosion plus ghost type. We have seen a couple of self-destruction explosions before.
Victory bell is sent out.
And especially in one of the matches in round 1, I think it was Darrett versus GameScorp, so round 1 match 6, that was in Group C. That match had 4, maybe even 5 ghost types. One of them was part dark in Spiritomb. 2 of the ghosts were Haunter and Gengar, so they had Levitate, so they're immune to ground. And then there were Steels that were immune to poison. There were a lot of immunity hits. Like a lot of normal on ghost moves especially. So that was a lot of doesn't work on ghosts. Someone even suggested a drinking game for these tournament streams and tournament videos. Every time I say doesn't work on ghosts, you take a drink. Aerial Ace. Leafeon has very good attack stat. It specializes in defense, it's 130 base stat total, but its next best stat is attack at 110, so that was a very strong Aerial Ace. Super effective for fixed blow as well. Special defense lowered on Umbreon. That's Umbreon's best stat, it specializes in special defense. Is that a new desk chair? I've had this one for 2 months. But yes, in that sense it is still somewhat new, yeah. Better than the previous one, more comfortable. Also something I like about it is you can do this. You can go really far back. So if I just want to lie down, I can do that. Like I now have it fully upwards for good posture for the stream, and I also have it up like this for, let's say, when I play racing games. But sometimes in the evening I want to chill a bit and hold it back. Like I didn't DX Ray just sounds like a proper gaming chair. That's probably what you're referring to. I didn't go for that because I never went out with the idea of, yeah, I'm definitely going to buy a new one. We just went to buy some new furniture for the house, like something new for my room you just can't see, but just put a lot of stuff in. My brother wanted a new chair, so we thought, hey, Auke, maybe you want a chair, because my other chair was kind of getting looked a bit weird because I just have used it for so long. The material wasn't looking as great, felt a bit weird. And there were some things I thought, alright, we could improve. If we find something that is good, because I did go along for that, for some other materials, I thought if we find a good new chair for me, I'll go with it. If I don't find something that's not that bad, but in the end we did buy this chair. I don't think I ever uploaded a vlog of me putting it together, because I'm not really that much of a builder, but I was like, I'm just gonna make it a vlog of me putting it together. I don't think I ever uploaded that. I did record it. Yeah, this thing can go back, so generally I put it back, like I was like 4 different stages of how far back it can go. So this is 1 stage back, and I generally have this when I'm like watching YouTube or something during the evening, so I can lie down a bit more when I'm a bit tired. It's more comfortable that way, because that is something the old chair couldn't do. And then I automatically when I wanted to be in a more of a resting position, more of like a lying down position, I would have to do this, which is a really bad seating position. But if I could just move the back of my chair back like this, then I could still have a proper seating position. While still watching YouTube videos. And not really hurting my back or creating back pains for later and things like that. Here comes Clamp.
A small hit.
It's gonna be a little bit of damage, also residual damage in between turns on Valentine. But yeah, electromagnetism is worn off, and the lead is on Kimono's side. Because Penguin, the Victual, has been taken out, only 2 Pokemon left, including Valentine, who's going to take clamp damage for a couple turns unless Umbreon goes down. And also Sandstorm damage from their own Tyranitar teammate, Auke. Both Leafeon and Umbreon are at about half HP, so a good hit can take them out. Power Gem. Good damage. That's on Valentine, including Clamp and Sandstorm. I think Clamp's 1/16th of health. I would be very surprised if it's 1/8. I think the only move with residual damage that deals 1/8 of the health is Magma Storm. All others must be 1/16. Luster Purge does some work on Darks. Tyranitar's first move. Bide. Auke's Jeff is fucked. Belly Drum.
It's attack roll.
That could be huge, but you need to have good physical attacks to really make use of it. But otherwise, it is your half HP mill sensor damage. There's going to be clamp damage, at least this turn. Maybe next turn it'll have run out already. If it clamp, if this is the final turn for clamp, which is possible because I think 2 is minimum, then it'll survive the next sandstorm if it doesn't get hit by something else. I think it'll just survive the next sandstorm. And it can't move itself because Bide. So it can't use Rest or Recover or Morning Sun. Leafeon might make it a 2-for-1 scenario. No, it goes for Tyranitar, which I think makes sense because it's pretty likely that Skuntank will take itself out. And even if it doesn't, even if Clamp stops and is not taking up any attacks, next turn Sandstorm will take it out. Gravity. Gravity increases accuracy. Yo, Metronome for Tyranitar. Bugwiz, is that on Leafeon? It's a special attack on Leafeon. Takes it out. Leafeon's better at physical defense. And Bugwiz is a very strong move. And the Tyranitar's is better at physical attacks. But its special attack is still good. Leafeon sounds 2v2 scenario, but is it really? Are we still gonna have Clamp? All Tyranitar needs to do right now is explode. No, it doesn't. You missed the rule change compared to group stage. In group stage, an explosion now would mean a tie. We can't tie here. So, 2 rules were changed for the, within the game. The last Pokemon fails Destiny Bond and Parasong. Maybe it's the one of the last 2 because it's a double battle. But also the user of self-destruct and explosion. If a tie is created because of self-destruct or explosion, the user of self-destruct or explosion loses. So what Tyranitar really wants is for Glaceon to explode. Because if Glaceon explodes, Tyranitar basically goes down as well, but Auke's GF wins. We have seen 1 self-destruct or explosion tie in the tournament. And although it's very unlikely, it's possible to happen again.
In anticipation of the trainer's next move.
2v1 scenario, but Unity is pretty big damage, and Sandstorm will keep damaging both opponents. Auke at half health, slightly under half health actually, but at +6 attack, so times 4 attack. They didn't want a good physical attack, probably on Umbreon first because it's easier to be taken out. Umbreon goes first though. Seed Flare! But Sandstorm special defense increase helps out, and Umbreon not having great special attack, but that's a big move. Glaceon! Sacred Fire is the final move again! The burn from Sacred Fire ended it! It burned! The burn from Sacred Fire ended it in Damien versus Matt as well. And that was also on a Tyranitar. Hammer Arm, that's dead Glaceon with the attack increase. But I think the burn is enough, because in this generation it's still 1/8 of the max health instead of 1/16, like in Gen 6 or 7 and later. I think the burn's enough. Are we going to see 2 matches in a row where a Sacred Fire burns a Tyranitar and then the burn takes him out? Yes. Yes, we are. Sacred Fire burn on Tyranitar twice in a row. If I make a top 10 highlights of this tournament, that's going to go in there. It's not the top, but the combination of this and the previous match, both were ended by a Sacred Fire burn on a Tyranitar, and then that burn that same turn takes them out. That's pretty damn special. So with Glaceon being taken out that turn before the burn was applied, Kimono had 1 Pokemon left, their Umbreon. So that is a 1-0 win for Kimono in a match that is so far the shortest of the quarterfinal matches, in 22 minutes and 10 seconds. That was another really close one. No, gosh darn it, Auke, I'm breaking up with you. Oh no.